3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the test review. It is a little bit long, so this might get a little bit of a long video. But I'm going to go through every single question. I'll mark it inside of the... I'll put chapters on it in YouTube, so if you need specific questions that you need to look to, you can just go ahead and go to those different chapters. We're looking at a test on Tuesday, which I believe is March 16th. Sorry, a bit of a yawn there. Okay, so first ones. Use the information provided to write the vertex form of an equation of a parabola. So remember vertex form. Vertex form is y or x is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. And again, it's all going to kind of depend on which way it goes. But you could put an x in there as well. So I'll just write it in there. So x is equal to a times y minus k squared plus h. So either one of those, we just got to figure out what it's going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and graph it first. It's just going to give me an idea of which direction it's going to go. So I've got a vertex at -5, -6, which is down there. And I've got a focus that's -5, and that's not quite -6. So again, just exaggerated. So my parabola is going to go like that. So that tells me that it's going to be a y equals. So y is going to be a times x minus h, so that'd be x plus 5 squared plus k, so minus 6. Now we have to find that a value, and remember a is equal to 1 over 4c. So remember the c value is the distance between there, and it's going to be positive in this case, so it looks like it's 1/4. -6, so you just go -6 minus 23/4, so 1/4. So it's going to equal 1 over 4 times 1/4, which is just 1. So you get y is equal to x plus 5 squared minus 6. So there's your first one. Second one. Again, we've got our vertex and we've got our focus, so I'm going to sketch it first. So we've got -4, -5, that's right there. And here, sorry about that. All of a sudden I can't write. Come on. It's about right there. -4, -79/16. So 79 divided by 16, you just want to get it. So that's about 4.9, blah, blah, blah. So it's, again, it's up this direction. So we're going to go that way. So it's going to be a y equals. So we've got y is equal to a times x. So it's the opposite, x plus 4 squared minus 5. So a is equal to 1 over 4 times c. So my c value is going to be the difference between -5 and -79/16. And it's going to be positive. So I'm just going by the calculator, and 5 79/16. So it's 1/16. You have to use your calculator for that. So a is going to equal 1 over 4 times 1/16, which is a is equal to 1 over 4, which is 4. So a equals 4. So we've got y is equal to 4 times x plus 4 squared minus 5. Here's the answer for number 2. If you have to press pause, press pause. Number 3. So we're given the vertex and the directrix. So again, I'm just drawing to help me do it. And that doesn't have to be really accurate, which this one ain't going to be close to being. Negative 10, 2, we'll just say is right there. The line of directrix is y is equal to 3 halves. So we've got y is equal to 3 halves. So y is equal to 3 halves is 1.5. So it's this right here. So that means I'm going to go like this because my focus has to be in there somewhere. So my vertex, so this is another y equals. So y equals my a value, x plus 10 squared plus 2. A is going to be 1 over 4 times c. So we've got to go from 3 halves to 2, so that's a half. So that's 1 over 4 times a half, which is 1/2. So a is 1/2. So y is equal to 1/2 times x plus 10 squared plus 2. Number 4. It's kind of the same thing. We'll graph it first. -6, -1, we'll say is right there. -3/4 is going to be right there. So this one's actually going to go down, which is good. We're still got a y equals, I guess. So they're all y equals. Sorry. X minus or plus 6 squared minus 1. A is going to be 1 over 4 times c. The c value is 1/4, so that's just 1. And it's going to be -1, so this is going to be -1/4. So a is equal to -1. So that's equal to -1 times x plus 6 squared minus 1. And there is your answer. Number 5. Okay, so first step we want to do when we're doing parabolas is we want to solve it for our single variable. So we're going to solve it for x. So this is actually going to be an x equals. That's going to be -2y squared plus 20y minus 57. So we're going to complete the square. So I'm going to take out a -2. That's going to leave me with y minus 10y. Complete my square. Half of 10 is 5 squared. So I'm going to add 25. We've got minus 57. And then we're going to put, because we got to distribute that in there, so this is going to be plus 50. So our equation, and that's all they really wanted us to do. So it's -2, factor this, y minus 5 squared equals, equals, not equals. Get rid of that equals. Minus 7. So this is an x equals. And they didn't ask to graph, they just asked for the equation. Since they just asked for the equation, you're done. Nothing left to do. Number 6 asks for the equation. We've got our single y sitting over here. So you get y is equal to 2x squared plus 28x plus 99. Go ahead and complete the square. So take out a 2. That leaves me with x squared plus 14x. Half of 14 is 7. 7 squared is 49. So we're going to go plus 49. And then we've got the plus 99. And we added 98. So we have to subtract 98. So factor it. It's 2. So y is equal to 2 times x plus 7 squared plus 1. You're done. And make sure you answer the questions they're asking. They didn't ask to graph. They didn't ask any of that kind of thing. Just so that's what they want. Number 7. So we've got a single y there. So y is equal to negative 2x squared plus 36x minus 172. So y is equal to, going to take out a negative 2. That leaves me with x squared. I'm taking out a minus 2, so minus 18x. 9, so plus 81. Minus 172 plus, I've actually put in negative 162. So this is going to be plus 162. So our equation, negative 2 times x minus 9 squared minus 10. Number 8. Again, solve for y in this case. So it'd be 2x squared plus 24x minus 70. Take the 2 out. That's x squared plus 12x. Half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is 36. We got minus 70. Essentially, we've added in, let me double check here, make sure we're okay. So 2x squared minus 7, that should be plus 70, sorry. That should be plus 70. Something looked goofy there. So that should be plus 70. So we're going to go minus 72. So 2 times x plus 6 squared minus 2. There's your equation. Okay, so those are the parabolas. Next, it says to identify the center and the radius. Obviously, this is a circle. And sketch the graph. So it's opposite. So our center for this is going to be at 4, negative 2. R squared is equal to 9. So R is equal to plus or minus 3. So we go to 4, negative 2. And then you got to go 3 spots each direction. And then you just sketch the circle. There it is. Number 10, x doesn't change any, so that's just 0. Opposite is negative 2. R squared is 21, so R is equal to, obviously the radius is only positive, but so the square root of 21. Square root of 21 is about 4.5, somewhere in there, so we go 0, negative 2. Somewhere around 4.5, which is about right there, which is about right there-ish. So something like that. That's really a crude drawing, but whatever. So now we have to write it in standard, given the radius and different things. So in the case we're given the radius, it's pretty straightforward. So x plus 6 squared plus y plus 12 squared, r squared is 16. Done. Same thing with this one, pretty quick. X plus 14 squared plus y plus 8 squared equals 16. Done. And this one, we got the center, so we can do the first part of it. So it's x minus 5 squared plus y minus 1 squared. But now we don't know the radius. So we've got the center here, and we've got a point on the circle. So we've got 5, 1, obviously not drawn to scale, negative 6, 5. So we have to find the distance between there. So the distance between those two is the change in x squared plus the change in y squared. So my x value is going from 5 to negative 6, so that's 11 squared. My y value is going from 1 to 5, so that's 4 squared. So we're looking at 121 plus 16, which is 137. So that's the square root of 137. That's my radius, but then you have to square it. So it's just going to be 137. Number 14, and again, first part is pretty easy, x plus 9 squared plus y minus 3 squared. My x value is changing, so the change in x is 1. The change in y is 4. So that's the square root of 1 plus 16, so the square root of 17. So that's just going to be 17. Okay, now with number 15, we have to write it in standard form. It's not in standard form right now. So we got to complete squares. So we're going to put our x's together. I'm going to save some time. We should be getting, like I said, pretty good at these now. So x squared minus 6x. We've got to complete that square. So half of 6 is 3, so we're going to add 9. Plus, so that's my box, is that plus 9. So y squared minus 26y. Half of 26 is 13. 13 squared is 169. So we're going to go plus 169. That's going to equal, because we have to have it equal 1, it's negative 153, but then we have to add 9 and add 169. So that gives me x minus 3 squared. I'm sorry, it doesn't have to equal 1, it has to equal the radius, my bad. Plus y minus 13 squared equals whatever negative 153 plus 9 plus 169 is 25. And that is your solution. Number 15. Number 16, same way. X squared plus 12x. We'll go ahead and complete the square, so plus 36. Put a little box around that to help me remember. Plus y squared plus 2y. Complete the square, half of 2 squared plus 1 equals 12 plus 36 plus 1. So that's x plus half of 12 is 6 squared plus y half of 2 is 1 squared. 12 plus 38, that's 49. And there it is, number 16. Number 17 says identify the center, vertices, covertices, and foci of each, and then sketch the graph. Okay, so our center, start with the center. The center is going to be, let's change colors here. The center is going to be, my x is 1, negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put a mark at 1 and negative 3. My a squared value is 36, so my a value is going to change by plus or minus 6. And like I said before, I'm happy with you just putting it on the graph. You don't necessarily need to put them. But my x value is changing by 6, so it goes there, and it goes there. And if you want to name them here, you certainly can. That's the point 7, negative 3. And you should do this anyway. And this is the point negative 5, negative 3. That's my vertices. My b squared value is going to be 4. So b is plus or minus 2. So that's going up 2 spots. So right there and right there. So that's the point 1, negative 1. And that's the point 1, negative 5. My c value, and we said you're just going to need to put the c value. Remember, c squared in an ellipse. Sorry, I need to erase that. In an ellipse, c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So c squared is going to be 36 minus 4, which is 32. So c is equal to plus or minus the square root of 32, which is 16 times 2, so that's 4 radical 2. And that's all you have to put. You don't have to mark that. And then that's your graph. And that's all you have to do for the c value. You don't need to put its points. You just need to give me what that c value would be. Number 18. All right, so again, start with the center. Center is going to be -2, -3. -2, -3, I like to put that there. A squared is 25, so A is equal to plus or minus 5. So that's underneath the x value, so my x value is changing by 5, so it's going to be there, which is 3, -3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is -7, -3. Those are my vertices. My covertices, b squared equals 15. So b equals plus or minus the square root of 15. So that's about 4, somewhere right in there. So it's going to go up 4. I think it's 4. Yeah, it's about 4. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be about right there. It's going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So about right there. So there's the graph, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. C squared is equal to a squared minus b squared, so 25 minus 15, so c squared equals 10, so c is equal to plus or minus the square root of 10. And there it is. And you're done. And I'm okay with all of that. As long as you give me that b value and you have an understanding of where it's at, you don't necessarily need to list that point. I mean, realistically, it's, it's -2 and, what was that, -3 plus the square root of 10. And then -2 and -3 minus the square root of 10. I mean, whatever. Or square root of 15, I'm sorry, square root of 15. Square root of 15. Number 19. Now we're going to graph it, it looks like, in this one, which is fine. Still going to identify the center, but maybe wants us to graph it this time. Well, we've been graphing it, haven't we? So same thing. But now it's in standard form. So we're going to have to complete the square. So we've got x squared, don't need to deal with that one even, plus 25y squared. So we're going to factor out a 25. That's going to leave me with y squared plus 2y, complete the square, plus 1 equals, I think it's going to be 25, right? So we added 25 to both sides. So that's x squared plus 25 times y plus 1 squared equals 25. Divide by 25. So I get an equation of x squared over 25 plus y plus 1 squared equals 1. So there's my equation. So my center is at 0, -1. A squared equals 25, so A is equal to plus or minus 5. So we got to go 5 in this direction and 5 in this direction. So that's the point 5, -1. And -5, -1. B squared is equal to 1, so B is equal to plus or minus 1. So up 1, that's the point 0, 0. Down 1, that's the point 0, -2. There's the graph. C value, C squared is equal to 25 minus 1. So C squared equals 24. So C is equal to plus or minus the square root of 24, which is 4 times 6. So plus or minus 2 radical 6. That's it. Okay. And number 20. change colors. Same thing we just did in this whole long thing. So we've got 49x squared. So I'm going to factor out a 49. So that's going to give me x squared. We've got minus 196x. So factor out a 49 from that, you get minus 4x. And then half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4, so plus 4. Plus 16y squared is going to equal 588, moved 588 to the other side, plus 49 times 4 is 196. So factor 49 times x minus 2 squared plus 16y squared is equal to 588 plus 196, 784. Divide everything by 784. So 784 essentially divided by 49 is 16. So that gives us x minus 2 squared over 16 plus, well, this is going to be y squared over 49 equals 1. So we've got what we need. The center is going to be 2, 0. It's right there. A squared is 49 this time, so a squared equals 49. So a equals plus or minus 7, but the 49 is underneath this y, so I have to go up 7 and down 7. So that's the point 27 and 2, negative 7. My b squared value is equal to 16, so b is plus or minus 4. So 4 there, 4 there. So we're at negative 2, 0, and 6, 0. There's my graph. C squared is equal to a squared minus b squared, so 49 minus 16, which is 35. So, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. 35. So c squared equals 35. So c is equal to plus or minus the square root of 35. And there are your answers. 33. 33. 33. 49 minus 16 is 33. Number 21. Identify the vertices, foci, and asymptote of each. So now we're into hyperbolas. So the vertices, so we've got x. Man, I did it again. I was hoping to, yeah, whatever. So we've got 1, negative 1. A squared is equal to 4, so a is equal to plus or minus 2. B squared is equal to 4, so b is equal to plus or minus 2. So we're at 1, negative 1, so there's that dot. Each of them is changing by 2. So we go there, I can't count, that's 3. We go there, and then we go up 2, and down 2. So this is going to look like an X. Yep, so we're good. So we draw our horizontal lines and vertical lines. Nice and straight. We draw our asymptote line. There's my asymptote line. There's my asymptote line. Those asymptote lines are going to be y is equal to plus or minus. Well, it's rise over run, and I got to get to that corner, so I'm going up 2 over 2. So it's just plus or minus 1 over 1x. So it just be plus or minus, 1 over 1x. So y is equal to plus or minus x. That's my asymptote line. And again, there's a plus or a minus 2 in here too, but we're not going to worry about, there's something over here because of the y-intercept. We're not going to worry about that part right now. Now we have to graph it so it looks like an X. So it's going to look something like that. Number 22. Center is going to be at 1, 0. So I'm going to put a dot at 1, 0. A squared is equal to 25. So A is equal to plus or minus 5. So the 25 is underneath my y squared. So since this is underneath my y squared, my y is going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm good with those, but I don't even need to mark those. My b squared is equal to 4. So b is equal to plus or minus 2. So 2 there, 2 there. Draw your vertical lines. Draw your horizontal lines. We've got our nice box created now. Draw this as best you can. That's kind of the important point right there. Something like that. Y is equal to plus or minus for our asymptote line. We're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. So 5 halves x. Again, there's plus something here, but we don't care. That's good enough. It looks like an x because x comes first. Something like that for 22. '23. Okay, it's in standard form. So we're going to go ahead and complete the squares. Should be getting good at these now. We've got 9x squared minus y squared. So we're going to put our x squareds first. So I'm going to factor out a 9. Should get a pencil that we can actually see. So we've got 9, and then that's going to give me x squared. So we've got minus 36. So take 9 out of 36, it gives you 4x. And again, if you have to write this all down first, go ahead and do that. I'm just kind of skipping a little bit of a step here. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So there's the first part. Minus. So now I've got a minus. So I've got to factor out a minus. So I've got minus, and I got to go y squared. It was minus 4, so this has to be plus 4y. And then complete the square, again, is going to be plus 2. And that's going to be negative 23. But we've added 36 because of distributive, and we've subtracted 2. So we've got 9 times x minus 2 squared minus y plus 2 squared equals 9. So divide by 9. Get an equation of x minus 2 squared over 9 minus y plus 2 squared over 9 equals 1. So we get a center at 2, negative 2. Yep. So we get a center at 2, negative 2. I was just double checking. Both A and B are plus or minus 3. Square root of 9. So they both go 3. So 3, 3, 3, 3. We're doing our vertical lines. Our asymptote line goes there and there. So our asymptote line is y is equal to going up 3 over 3, right? up 3 over 3, so it's just got to be y. So it's just x plus minus x. There it is. I think the answer key is wrong on that one. And for these, we're not going to worry about the focus for the hyperbolas. So the hyperbola is going to look something like this. That looks right to me. 24. Again, we've got minus y squared. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't switch these around. But it is what it is. So we've got 4. We're going to take a 4 out of there. I'm doing this in one shot. It's getting long. Hopefully you take breaks between it or don't do them all. Take a 4 out of there. That leaves me with x squared plus 6x. So complete that square would be plus 9. I'm going to run out of room with this one already, I can tell. Take out a minus. So that leaves me with y squared plus 2y plus 1. And that's negative 19 plus 36 minus 1, which is just 16. So 4 times x plus 3 squared minus y plus 1 squared equals 16. Divide by 16. So that's x plus 3 squared over 4 minus y plus 1 squared over 16 equals 1. So our center for this that we're using as the center is negative 3, negative 1. Our x value, so our x value is changing by 4. So a squared is equal to 16. A is equal to plus or minus 4. That's the y, so it's going up 4 and down 4. The b squared value is equal to 4, so b is equal to plus or minus 2. So our x value is going 2 and 2. We draw all of our funky lines. There they are. We draw in our asymptote, there and there. It's an x equals, that's x's first, so again, it's going to look like that. Asymptote line, y is equal to up 1, 2, 3 over 2. Up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4 over 2, so that's 2x plus or minus. Y is equal to plus or minus 2x. And I'm going to be happy with the graphs and all of that stuff. Okay? If you haven't taken a break, take breaks while you're doing this. A couple left. Solve systems of equations. So when you solve a system of equations, you look for the linear one and you solve it for a variable. So we're going to solve this bottom one for y. So y is going to be 4 minus 2x. In the first equation, anywhere we see a y, we are going to replace it with 4 minus 2x, and then minus 12 equals 0. So that's negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 8 equals 0. Factor out a negative 2. So that gives me x minus 4x plus 4. So that factored is x minus 2x minus 2. So that's negative 2 times x minus 2. X minus 2 equals 0. So my solution, I guess in this case, is only x is equal to 2. So if my x value is equal to 2, I have to find the point where they intersect. So that would give me 4 minus 2 times 2, which is just 0. So there is their point of intersection. 26, same way. I'm going to solve this one for x. It's going to cause a little bit more of a, well, not really. This going to be a long one. So 4x is equal to y plus 4. So anywhere I see an x, I'm going to replace it with a y plus 4. So this would be 3 times y plus 4 squared plus 5y squared plus 13 times y plus 4 plus 3y minus 68 equals 0. Oh, fun. So 3 times y plus 4 times y plus 4 plus 5y squared plus, I'm going to distribute, 13y plus 52 plus 3y minus 68. So this is 3 times, that's y squared plus 4y is 8y plus 16. So that's 3y squared plus 24y plus 16. I just kind of skipped a step there, but whatever, plus 5y squared plus 13y plus 52 plus 3y minus 68. What are the chances that I've done this right? So that's 8y squared. So that takes care of that one and that one. We've got 24 and 13 is 37, so plus 40y. And I've got 16 plus 52 minus 68. Pleased to be divisible by 8. Oh, that's equals 0. Even better. That's 0. So equals 0. Factor out an 8y. That gives me y plus 5.
I found this on the web.
I'm happy for you, Siri. So y is equal to 0. We did y here, right? Or y is equal to 5? So we know our y value is 0. If our y value is 0, our x value is 4. So we have the point 4, 0. If our y value is 5, we've got 9, 5. It's not what the answer key had, but I think that's right. If I made an error in there somewhere, I apologize. There might be an error in there. If you got 0, -4, and 3, -1, I made an error in there. I promised the one on the test to look more like 25 than it does like 26. That's just too long and too easy to make errors in there, which I may have done somewhere. If you find it, let me know. The last ones say classify each conic section. So we just have to tell what it is. Is it a parabola? Is it a hyperbola? What is it? So we look at the first one, we've got an x squared, but we don't have a y squared. We just have a y. So right there, that should tell you that it's a parabola. That's all you have to do. It's a parabola. Number 28, we've got a y squared, but we don't have an x squared, so it's a parabola. Number 29, we've got an x squared and we've got a y squared. They're added together and they don't have any numbers. That makes it a circle. Number 30. Number 30, you've got an x squared and you've got a y squared, but what's happening here is you've got kind of a 2 with both of them. So since they're both the same, chances are pretty good that they're going to cancel each other out. And you're going to probably end up with a circle here. If you would have put an ellipse, I don't think I would have been too mad. 31. And again, you got a y squared and an x, so it's just a hyperbola. Or, I'm sorry, it's parabola. And the last one, you've got 4x squared, you've got minus 9y squared, so it's minus this time, so since it's minus, it's a hyperbola. If you watched this whole video, bless your soul. This was a long one. I'll put the chapters in there.